Hello everyone, I am Sunil Kumar BL, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Canara Engineering College. I am handling Advanced Computer Architectures 17CS 72. Textbook is Advanced Computer Architecture by Kai Hong and Naresh Jotwani. Reference book is Computer Architecture, a Quantitative Approach by John L. Hennessy and David A. Patterson.
Chapter 10: Parallel Models, Languages, and Compilers. This chapter is devoted to programming and compiler aspects of parallel and vector computers. To study beyond architectural capabilities, we must learn about the basic models for parallel programming and how to design optimizing compilers for parallelism. Models studied include those for shared variable, message passing, object-oriented, data parallel, functional, and logic programming. We examine language extensions, parallelizing, vectorizing, and trace-driven compilers designed to support parallel programming. Parallel programming models. Programming model is a simplified and transparent view of computer hardware or software system. Parallel programming models are specially designed for multiprocessor, multicomputer, or vector or SIMD computers. We have 5 programming models, which are 1. Shared variable model, 2nd. Message passing model, 3rd. Data parallel model, 4th. Object oriented model, and 5th one, functional and logic model. Shared variable model. In all programming systems, processors are active resources and memory and I/O devices are passive resources. Program is a collection of process. Parallelism depends on how interprocessor communication is implemented. Process address space is shared. To ensure orderly interprocessor communication, a mutual exclusion property requires that shared object must be shared by only one process at a time. Diagram shows the two basic mechanisms for interprocessor communication. Shared variable communication. Used in multiprocessor programming, shared variable interprocessor communication demands use of shared memory and mutual exclusion among multiple processes accessing the same set of variables. Critical section. Critical section is a code segment accessing shared variable which must be extended by only one process at a time and which once started must be completed without interruption. It should satisfy the following requirements: mutual exclusion, at most one process executing critical section at a time, no deadlock in waiting, no circular wait by two or more processes, no preemption, no interrupt until completion. Eventual entry. Once entered critical section must be out after completion. Next, protected access. Granularity of critical section affects the performance. If critical section is too large, it may limit parallelism due to excessive waiting by process. When critical section is too small, it may add unnecessary code complexity or software overhead. Four operational modes. They are multi-programming, multi-processing, multitasking, and multi-threading. Multi-programming. Traditionally, multi-programming is defined as multiple independent programs running on a single processor or on a multiprocessor by time-sharing use of the system resources. A multiprocessor can be used in solving a single large problem or in running multiple programs across the processors. A multi-programmed multiprocessor allows multiple programs to run concurrently through time sharing of all the processors in the system. Multiple programs are interleaved in their CPU and I/O activities. Multiprocessing. When multiprogramming is implemented at the process level on a multiprocessor, it is called multiprocessing. Two types of multiprocessing are specified. If interprocessor communication are handled at the instruction level, the multiprocessor operates in MIMD mode. If interprocessor communication are handled at the program, subroutine, or procedural level, the machine operates in MPMD, multiple programs over multiple data streams mode. Multitasking. A single program can be partitioned into multiple interrelated tasks concurrently executed on a multiprocessor. This has been implemented as multitasking on Cray multiprocessor. Thus, multitasking provides the parallel execution of two or more parts of a single program. A job efficiently multitasked requires less execution time. Multitasking is achieved with added codes in original program in order to provide proper linkage and synchronization of divided tasks. Multi-threading. The purpose is to allow multiple threads of lightweight process to share the same address space and to be executed by the same or different processor simultaneously. The concept of multithreading is an extension of the concepts of multitasking and multiprocessing. The purpose is to exploit fine-grained parallelism in modern multiprocessor built with multiple context processor or superscalar processors with multiple instruction issues. Each thread will use a separate program counter. Resource conflicts are the major problem to be resolved in multi-threaded architecture. Partitioning and replication. The goal of parallel processing is to exploit parallelism as much as possible with the lowest overhead. Program partitioning is a technique for decomposing a large program and dataset into many small pieces for parallel execution by multiple processors. Program partitioning involves both programmers and the compiler. Parallelism detection by user is often explicitly expressed with parallel language constructs. Program restructuring techniques can be used to transform sequential programs into parallel form more suitable for multiprocessors. Ideally, this transformation should be carried out automatically by a compiler. Program replication refers to duplication of the same program code for parallel execution on multiple processors over different datasets. Partitioning is often practiced on a shared memory multiprocessor system, while replication is more suitable for distributed memory message passing multi-computers. Scheduling and synchronization. Scheduling of divided program modules on parallel processors is much more complicated than scheduling of sequential programs on a uniprocessor. Static scheduling is conducted at post-compile time. Its advantage is low overhead, but the shortcoming is a possible mismatch with the runtime profile of each task and therefore potentially poor resource utilization. Dynamic scheduling catches the runtime conditions. However, dynamic scheduling requires fast context switching, preemption, and much more OS support. The advantage of dynamic scheduling include better resource utilization at the expense of higher scheduling overhead. Static and dynamic methods can be jointly used in sophisticated multiprocessor system demanding higher efficiency. Cache coherence and protection. Besides maintaining data coherence in a memory hierarchy, multiprocessors must assume data consistency between private caches and the shared memory. The multicache coherence problem demands an invalidation or update after each write operation. These coherence control operations require special bus or network protocols for implementation as noted in previous chapters. A memory system is said to be coherent if the value returned on a read instruction is always the value returned by the latest write instruction on the same memory location. The access order to the caches and to the main memory makes a big difference in computational results. Message passing model. Two processes D and E residing at different processor nodes may communicate with each other by passing message through a direct network. The messages may be instructions, data, synchronization or interrupt signals, etc. Multi-computers are considered loosely coupled multiprocessors. Synchronous message passing. No shared memory, no mutual exclusion, synchronization of sender and receiver process just like telephone call, no buffer used. If one process is ready to communicate and other is not, the one that is ready must be blocked. Asynchronous message passing does not require that message sending and receiving the synchronized in time and space. Arbitrary communication delay may be experienced because sender may not know if and when the message has been received until acknowledgement is received from receiver. This scheme is like a postal service using mailbox with no synchronization between senders and receivers. Distributing the computations. Program replication and data distribution are used in multi-computers. The processor in a multi-computer are loosely coupled in the sense that they do not share memory. Message passing in multi-computer is handled at the subprogram level rather than at the instruction or fine-grained process level, as in a tightly coupled multiprocessor. That is why explicit parallelism is more attractive for multi-computers. A concurrent program for distributed computing on a multi-computer. The computation involved is the evaluation of pi as the area under the curve f of x between 0 and 1 as shown in the diagram. Using a rectangle rule, we write the integral form in discrete form, where h is equal to 1 by n is the panel width, xi is equal to h into I minus zero point 0.5 are the midpoints, and n is the number of panels to be computed. Each node executes a separate copy of the node program. Several system calls are used to achieve message passing between the host and nodes. The host program sends the number of panels n as a message to all the nodes, which receive it accordingly in the node program. Data parallel model used in SIMD computers. Parallelism handled by hardware synchronization and flow control. Fortran 90 data parallel language require pre-distributed datasets. Data parallelism. This technique used in array processor SIMD issue match problem size with machine size. Array language extensions. Various data parallel languages are used, represented by high-level data types. CFD for ELIAC 4, DAP Fortran for distributed array processor, C star for connection machine. Target to make the number of P's of problem size. Compiler support. To support data parallel programming, the array language extensions and their optimizing compilers must be embedded in familiar standards such as Fortran 77, Fortran 90, and C. The idea is to unify the program execution model, facilitate precise control of massively parallel hardware, and enable incremental migration to data parallel execution. Compiler-optimized control of SIMD machine hardware allows the programmer to drive the PE array transparently. The compiler must separate the program into scalar and parallel components and integrate them with the OS environment. The compiler technology must allow array extensions to optimize data placement, minimize data movement, and virtualize the dimensions of the PE array. The compiler generates data parallel machine code to perform operation on arrays. Array sectioning allows a programmer to reference a section on a region of a multidimensional array. Array sections are designed by specifying a start index, a bound, and stride. Vector-valued subscripts are often used to construct arrays from arbitrary permutations of another array. These expressions are vectors that map the desired elements into the target array. They facilitate the implementation of gather and scatter operations on a vector of indices. Object-oriented model. Objects dynamically created and manipulated. Processing is performed by sending and receiving messages among objects. Concurrent object-oriented programming. The popularity of object-oriented programming is attributed to three application demands. First, there is increased use of interacting processes by individual users, such as the use of multiple windows. Second, workstation networks have become cost-effective mechanism for resource sharing and distributed problem solving. Third, multiprocessor technology is several variants has advanced to the point of providing supercomputing power at a fraction of traditional cost. As a matter of fact, the program abstraction leads to program modularity and software reusability as it's commonly experienced with object-oriented programming. Other areas that have encouraged the growth of object-oriented programming include the development of computer-aided design tools and other sophisticated applications with graphics capabilities. The development of concurrent object-oriented programming provides an alternate model for concurrent computing on multiprocessors or on multicomputers. Various object models differ in internal behavior of objects and in how they interact with each other. Actor model. The concurrent object-oriented programming must support patterns of reuse and classification. For example, through the use of inheritance, which allows all instances of a particular class to share the same property. An actor model developed in MIT is presented as one framework for concurrent object-oriented programming. Actors are self-contained, interactive, independent components of a computing system that communicate by asynchronous message passing. In an actor model, message passing is attached with semantics. Basic actor primitives include 1. Create, creating an actor form, a behavior description, and set of parameters. 2. Send to, sending a message to another actor. 3. Become, an actor replacing its own behavior by a new behavior. State changes are specified by behavior replacement. The replacement mechanism allows one to aggregate changes and to avoid unnecessary control flow dependencies. Concurrent computations are visualized in terms of concurrent actor creation, simultaneous communication events, and behavior replacements. Parallelism in concurrent object-oriented programming. Three common patterns of parallelism have been found in the practice of concurrent object-oriented programming. First, pipeline concurrency involves the overlapped enumeration of successive solutions and concurrent testing of the solutions as they emerge from an evaluation pipeline. Second, divide and conquer concurrency involves the concurrent elaboration of different subprograms and the combining of their solutions to produce a solution to overall problems. In this case, there is no interaction between procedures solving the sub-problems. A third pattern is called cooperative problem solving. A simple example is the dynamic path evaluation of many physical bodies under the mutual influence of gravitational fields. In this case, all objects must interact with each other. Intermediate results are stored in objects and shared by passing message between them. Example of concurrency and object-oriented programming. A prime number generation pipeline is shown in the diagram. Integer numbers are generated and successively tested for divisibility by previously generated primes in a linear pipeline of primes. The circled numbers represent those being generated. A number enters the pipeline from the left and is eliminated if it is divisible by the prime number tested at a pipeline stage. All the numbers being forwarded to the right of the pipeline stage are those indivisible by all the prime numbers tested on the left of that stage. Figure B shows multiplication of a list of numbers. Contains 10, 7, -2, 3, 4, -11 and -3 using a divide and conquer approach. The number are represented as levels of a tree. The problem can be recursively subdivided into subproblems of multiplying two sublists, each of which is concurrently evaluated and the results multiplied at the upper node. Functional and logic model. Functional programming languages are Lisp, Sisal, and Strand 88. Logic programming languages are Concurrent Prolog and Paralog. Functional programming model. A functional programming language emphasizes the functionality of a program and should not produce side effects after execution. There is no concept of storage, assignment, and branching in functional programming. In other words, the history of any computation performed prior to the evaluation of a functional expression should be irrelevant to the meaning of the execution. The lack of side effects opens up much more opportunity for parallelism. Precedence restrictions occur only as a result of function application. The evaluation of a function produces the same value regardless of the order in which its arguments are evaluated. This implies that all arguments in a dynamically created structure of a functional program can be evaluated in parallel. All single assignment and data flow languages are functional in nature. This implies that functional programming models can be easily applied to data-driven multiprocessors. The functional model emphasizes fine-grained MIMD parallelism and is referentially transparent. Logic programming model. Based on predicate logic, logic programming is suitable for knowledge processing dealing with large databases. This model adopts an implicit search strategy and supports parallelism in the logic inference process. A question is answered if the matching facts are found in the database. Two facts match if their predicates and associated arguments are the same. The process of matching and unification can be parallelized under certain conditions. Clauses in logic programming can be transformed into data flow graphs. Parallel unification has been attempted on some data flow computers built in Japan. Parallel languages and compilers. The environment for parallel compilers is much more demanding than that for sequential computers. A programming environment is a collection of software, tools, and system software support. Users should not have to spend a lot of time programming hardware details. They should focus instead on program parallelism using high-level abstractions. To break this hardware-software barrier, we need a parallel software environment which provides better tools for users to implement parallelism and to debug programs. Language features for parallelism. The classification of the language features for parallel programming are into six categories according to functionality. These features are idealized for general-purpose applications. In practice, the real language developed or accepted by the user community might have some or no features in some of the categories. Some of the features are identified with existing language or compiler development. Below listed features set guidelines for developing a user-friendly programming environment. The first feature, optimization features. These features are used for program restructuring and compilation directives in converting sequentially coded programs into parallel forms. The purpose is to match the software parallelism with the hardware parallelism in the target machine. They are automated parallelizer, semi-automated parallelizer, and interactive restructure support. Next feature, availability features. These are features that enhances the user friendliness, make the language portable to a large class of parallel computers, and expand the applicability of software libraries. They are scalability, compatibility, and portability. Next feature, synchronization or communication features. They are desirable language features for synchronization or for communication purposes, which includes single assignment languages, shared variable, remote procedure calls, data flow language, barriers, mailbox, etc. Control of parallelism is the next feature. These feature involving control constructs for specifying parallelism in various forms like coarse, medium or fine grain, explicit versus implicit parallelism, shared abstract data types, divide and conquer paradigm, etc. Next feature, data parallelism features. Data parallelism is used to specify how the data accessed and distributed in either SIMD or MIMD computers. Next, process management features. These features are needed to support the efficient creation of parallel process, implementation of multi-threading or multitasking, program partitioning and replication, and dynamic load balancing at runtime. Parallel language constructs. Special language constructs and data array expressions are presented for exploiting parallelism in programs. Here we first specify Fortran 90 array notations, then describes commonly used parallel constructs for program flow control. Fortran 90 array notation. A multidimensional data array is represented by an array name indexed by a sequence of subscript triplets, one for each dimension. Triplet for different dimensions are separated by commas, where each EI is an arithmetic expression that must produce a scalar integer value. The first expression E1 is a lower bound, the second E2 an upper bound, and the third E3 an increment. Parallel flow control. The conventional Fortran do loop declares that all scalar instructions within the do and do pair are executed sequentially, and so are successive iterations. To declare parallel activities, we use do all end all pair. All iterations in the do all loop are totally independent of each other. This implies that they can be executed in parallel if there are sufficient processors to handle different iterations. However, the computations within each iteration are still executed serially in program order. When the successive iterations of a loop depend on each other, we use the pair do across end across to declare parallelism with loop carried dependencies. Synchronizations must be performed between the iterations that depend on each other. For example, dependence along the j dimension exists in the following program. We use do across to declare parallelism along the I dimension, but synchronization between iteration is required. The for all, end all, and para-do, para-end commands can be interpreted either as do-all loop or do-across loop. Another program construct is the co-begin, co-end pair. All computations specified within the block could be executed in parallel, but parallel processes may be created with a single time difference in real implementations. This is quite different from the semantics of the do-all loop or do-across loop structure. Synchronizations among concurrent processes created within the pair are implied. Formally, the command co-begin and co-end is shown in the diagram. Causes the processes P1, P2 up to Pn to start simultaneously and to proceed concurrently until they have all ended. The command para-begin, para-end has equivalent meaning. Finally, we introduce the fork and join commands in the following example as shown in the diagram. During the execution of process P, we can use a fork Q command to spawn a new process queue. The join queue command recombines the two processes into one process. Execution of queue is initialized when fork queue statement in P is executed. Programs P and Q are executed concurrently until either P executes the join queue statement or Q terminates. Whichever one finishes first must wait for the other to complete execution before they can be rejoined. Optimizing compilers for parallelism. Because high-level languages are used almost exclusively to write programs today, compilers have become a necessity in modern computers. The role of compiler is to remove the burden of program optimization and code generation from the programmer. A parallelizing compiler consists of three major phases: flow analysis, optimization, and code generation. Diagram shows the compilation phases in parallel code generation. Flow analysis. This phase reveals the program flow patterns in order to determine data and control dependencies in the source code. Data dependence relations among scalar type instructions was discussed earlier. Scalar dependence analysis is extended to structure data arrays or matrices. Depending on machine structure, the granularity of parallelism to be exploited are quite different. Thus, the flow analysis is constructed at different execution levels on different parallel computers. Program optimization. This refers to the transformation of user programs in order to explore the hardware capabilities as much as possible. Transformation can be conducted at the loop level, locality level, or prefetching level, with the ultimate goal of reaching global optimization. The optimization often transforms a code into an equivalent but better form in the same representation language. These transformations should be machine independent. Next, parallel code generation. Code generation usually involves transformation from one representation to another, called an intermediate form. A code model must be chosen as an intermediate form. Parallel code is even more demanding because parallel constructs must be included. Code generation is closely tied to the instruction scheduling policies used. Basic blocks linked by control flow commands are often optimized to encourage a high degree of parallelism. Special data structures are needed to represent instruction blocks. Dependence analysis of data arrays. Dependence testing of successive iterations in multidimensional data array is described here. This provides a theoretical foundation for the development of vectorizing or parallelizing compilers. Iteration space and dependence analysis. Flow dependence, anti-dependence, and output dependencies were defined for scalar data earlier. They can be summarized by the existence of dynamic references for R1 and R2 if and only if Either R1 or R2 is a write operation. R1 executes before R2 or R1 and R2 both writes the same variable. When the referenced object is a data array indexed by a multidimensional subscript, the dependence become very difficult to determine at compile time, since subscript values are not in general available. Precise and efficient dependence tests are essential to the effectiveness of a parallelizing compiler. The process of computing all the data dependencies in program is called dependence analysis. Dependence testing. Calculating data dependence for arrays is complicated by the fact that two array references may not access the same memory location. Dependence testing is the method used to determine whether dependencies exist between two subscripted references to the same array in the loop nest. For the purpose of this explanation, we can ignore any control flow except for the loops themselves. Iteration space. The n-dimensional discrete Cartesian space for deep loops is called an iteration space. The iteration is represented as coordinates in the iteration space. The following example clarifies the concept of lexicographic order for successive iterations in a loop nest. Dependence equations. Let alpha and beta be vectors of n integer indices within the range of the upper and lower bounds of the n loops. There is a dependence from S1 to S2 if and only if there exist alpha and beta such that alpha is lexicographically less than or equal to beta, and the system of dependence equation satisfy Fi of alpha is equal to Gi of beta for all I varies from 1 to m. Otherwise, the two references are independent. Distance and direction vectors. Suppose there exists a data dependence for alpha is equal to alpha 1, alpha 2 up to alpha n, and beta is equal to beta 1, beta 2 up to beta n. Then the distance vector d is equal to d1, d2 up to dn is defined as beta minus alpha. The direction vector d is equal to small d1, small d2 up to dn of the dependence is defined by di is equal to less than if alpha I is less than beta I. Di is equal to equal if alpha I is equal to beta I, or di is equal to greater than if alpha is greater than beta I. Subscript separability and partitioning. Dependence testing thus has two goals. It tries to disprove the dependence between pairs of subscripted references to the same array variable. If dependence exists, it tries to categorize them in some manner, usually as a minimum complete set of distance and direction vectors. Dependence testing must also be conservative and assume the existence of any dependence it cannot disprove. Otherwise, the validity of any optimizations based on dependence information is not guaranteed. Subscript categories. The term subscript refers to one of the subscripted positions in a pair of array references, that is, the pair of subscripts in some dimension of the two array references. When testing for dependence, we classify subscript positions by the total number of distinct loop indices they contain. A subscript is said to be zero-index variable (ZIV) if subscript position contains no index in either reference. A subscript is said to be single-index variable (SIV) if only one index occurs in that position. Any subscript with more than one index is said to be multiple index variable (MIV). Subscript separability. When testing multidimensional arrays, we say that a subscript position is separable if its indices do not occur in other subscripts. If two different subscripts contains the same index, we say they are coupled. Separability is important because multidimensional array references can cause imprecision in dependence testing. If all the subscripts are separable, we may compute the direction vector for each subscript independently and merge the direction vectors on the positional basis with full precision. Subscript partitioning. We need to classify all the subscripts in a pair of array references as separable or as part of some minimal coupled group. A coupled group is minimal if it cannot be partitioned into two non-empty subprograms with distinct set of indices. Once a partition is achieved, each separable subscript and each coupled group has completely disjoint sets of indices. Each partition may then be tested in isolation and resulting distance or direction vectors merged without any loss of precision. Since each variable and coupled subscript group contains a unique subset of indices, a merge may be thought of as Cartesian product. Diagram shows the geometric weave of SIV test in four categories. Thank you.